Welcome back to All About Craven. It's Wednesday morning. I'm Carr, Ipock, joined by Jennifer Wagner.
Good morning.
We're here to talk about things in Craven County that are important to all of us.
That's right, not just Craven County Schools.
And we tie it to the education setting, of course, but we have Dave Peterson here with us, who's Trillium Regional Director, and we were just learning that you work out of Greenville. We appreciate you driving over this morning to spend time with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me this morning. Appreciate that.
Very important message and education, I think, that we can do here for ourselves as well as others in trying to understand a little bit about what Trillium is.
Yes, so Trillium is a managed care organization that oversees 24 counties on the eastern part of the state, and we oversee services and supports for mental health, developmental disabilities, and substance abuse services. We have approximately 400 agencies that we oversee, and we serve approximately 50,000 people a year for those three disability groups.
Wow. So, and I know we have several ways that we would be tied to services, but in schools there's this outreach that we know of as Rachel's Challenge, which is part of a set of approaches that you have.
Yes, and so a couple of years ago, our assistant medical director took a look at some of the issues that were happening with this in the school systems and the younger population, and saw that there was a great need to address some of the bullying that was happening. There unfortunately has been some suicides in the schools, and so we really wanted to make sure that we were trying to take a look at some prevention issues that we could help out there. And so one of the big things that we took a look at was this program called Rachel's Challenge. And Rachel's Challenge is a national movement, and it's moving into other countries also, where it really teaches compassion and kindness. And just a little bit of history on that. Approximately 18 years ago now, folks, most of us remember the Columbine shootings. And Rachel was the very first girl that was killed in Columbine. And her father, Darrell Scott, started this program out there, and it has just spread for the past 16, 17 years throughout all the states. And we took a look at that program and saw that it was a great prevention opportunity in the schools for the high schools, the middle schools, and the elementary schools. And so this program has certified trainers that come in from Rachel's Challenge, and they do an excellent job at training the schools on how to set up programs for the kids to show that kindness and compassion. And I can give you some examples of that. Some of the things that they have done in the past, if a new student, and we all have that in the schools, comes in 2 to 3 weeks after and has never been there before, they'll have a system. Some of the schools set up a system where just a little welcome note on their locker. Welcome to our school. You're our friend now. We want to make sure you're part of our school. Or a buddy system where someone will hook up with the kid to say, let me show you the ropes of the school and introduce you to some of my friends. And so it's just that basic kindness and compassion throughout the school.
Wow. And it addresses issues like bullying?
Yes. And
preemptive?
Yeah, it's more preemptive. And so when there's more kindness going around, there's less bullying going around. And so it's a really powerful program that we're seeing in the schools, and we've got some testimonials that we've taken from opening up these programs, and you know, it's just some of these kids are saying that I've learned a great deal from this, and I'd actually like to read one of the testimonials. After they had an opening ceremony for Rachel's Challenge, they taught one of the individuals, Rachel has taught me that being a better person is the way to go. I wasn't the nicest person up to this day. I have bullied kids in my past and picked on them because they weren't like me and they were different. There were differences between us. I want to tell and show everyone that I'm sorry for who I was and how I acted and treated them.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And coming from a teenager,
Right.
that's magnificent to hear.
Somebody
To
that was
have-
directly impacted.
Yes.
That was wonderful.
Yes.
To have self-reflection and realize that maybe your bar is not where you ought to have it.
Right, right.
Move it up.
Yeah, and so we've approximately, there's about 150 middle and high schools in our 24 counties, and about 122 of those schools have taken on Rachel's Challenge. And in the elementary schools, there's 170 elementary schools throughout our 24 counties.
Right.
And we've gotten 167 of them signed up to do Rachel's Challenge. 14 of the elementary schools here in Craven County have taken it on, and so it's been excellent. And I do want to make sure that I thank the board chair, school board chair, David Hale, and Debbie Hodges, who's the Director of Student Support Services, and Commissioner Scott Dacey. He's been very supportive of that, and he's also on our regional advisory board.
I was wondering, maybe you want to speak to that too, how the regional advisory board is composed.
So we have 3 regions within our 24 counties, and I'm in the central region, and that makes up 8 counties, including Craven County. And the regional advisory board is composed of a county commissioner from each of the counties, and another representative from a specialty area. And I'm not sure if you know David Creech, but he's an attorney in Craven County, and he is also on our regional advisory board. So they represent any of the issues that come up in Craven County, and have been very supportive of us as a regional board. And our regional board then feeds our governing board information, and vice versa. And so there's meetings every other month between the two. So they have the governing board one month and then the regional board the next.
So we have means or avenues for local voice in terms of the regional concept related to mental health.
Yes, and Commissioner Dacey and David Creech have done a wonderful job at promoting Craven County on our board, yes.
Good.
Well, and one of the things that I was going to share is I've had a chance to participate in Rachel's Challenge at the high school level as well as at the elementary school level. And I'm just so glad to see that it's tailored, obviously, and it's age specific. So obviously the message at the high school level is not the same message that's at the elementary school level.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. That's, you know, there is mention at the high school level of not in necessarily all the details, but some mention of what took place in Columbine at the high school level. They don't even mention Columbine at all at the elementary school level. It's just
they would
trying
have no knowledge.
They would have no knowledge of it, and it's just basically talking with the younger kids about what is kindness. How do you show compassion to your fellow classmates? And that is really promoting that milieu to be supportive of each other.
Fits so perfectly with our character education
It
that
does.
we have at our elementary schools.
And with that message, I think it's so important because bullying is one of those terms that I think has gotten, I don't want to say overused, but it's been one of those terms that's been, you know, very general and very broad.
Yes.
And so now I think it's important that you're teaching students to be kind.
Yes.
As opposed to just identifying what the bullying incident is.
Well, one of the interesting things that has taken place with this is in the middle and high schools, when we do the kickoffs, you know, they have trainers that come in from Rachel's Challenge, but they also hold a meeting in the evening for the parents to come in and the community to come in.
Wonderful.
And we've gotten wonderful feedback from the parents saying, you know, I never knew about this program. I too was struggling with whether I wanted to use drugs or commit suicide, and this program really helped me out. And this is a parent saying it now.
Wow.
It's not just impacting the kids, it's impacting the whole family. So
I think about our community too, as you alluded to, students coming in or leaving because of our military families. That we see a lot of movement, not at the normal time, at the beginning of a school year.
Right.
And how do you make sure that every one of those students is brought in, accepted, feels at home? because we think it's very important they understand they're ours.
Yeah, the 4 clubs, the Friends of Rachel's clubs that they set up, they try to address that in a variety of ways. And you know, just some of the examples I mentioned earlier: stickers on their locker, a welcoming committee, a buddy system. But each school designs it their own way, so it's their own. And so we're really thankful with the partnership of the school system in Craven County to adopt this program.
I think the other important component is that it gives the responsibility to the students.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So they end up in charge of taking care of themselves.
it is a
Take
powerful
ownership.
tool for them to take some ownership
Right.
and some leadership in that, and it's a good leadership development program too.
Sure is.
So.
Well, I know Trillium is so much broader than this, but this is one place that we have a very direct connection, and appreciate that support that you provide very much.
Yes, thank you. I mean, we try to make sure that we're doing services and supports throughout our 24 counties, and Craven County has always been a really good partnership in this program.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.